Hello, lovely listeners, and welcome back to another episode of the Art Saddle podcast. I'm Copper Kelly, one of your hosts, and I'm joined as always by my co-host with the most, I guess, Keenan Flannery.
Pew, pew, pew.
How
Hello.
are you, Keenan?
What's the story, Copper? How are you doing?
Jeez, I'm grand. I'm delighted to welcome another musician to the podcast as a guest. This is Walker Tex.
How's everybody doing?
Good to have you, man. You well?
Yeah, good. It's good to be here, man. It's good to see you again after our last conversation and schooling on the wonderful life and times of Neil Young.
Yes. So what Walker's talking about was the other podcast I do. Keenan's going to hate this now, but the other podcast I do.
No, when have I ever disproved of your shameless self-promotion?
Never. Has to be done.
Take it away.
Well, yeah, I had Walker on Copper's Corner for, I think it was the second episode. Yeah, I think it was the second episode.
Yeah, it was early on. Yeah.
We're going to bleep out that name, by the way.
Yeah. So we chatted about the legendary Neil Young, and you're wearing your flannel again. I see.
I'm always look if it's not flannel, it's just not for me. You know, it has to be.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that now. If it's not flannel, it's just not for me.
For me.
And before we get any further, Keenan, do you want to shout out the socials where people can find us?
Yes. So before we lose our lovely listeners, come and listen. Find out all the places you can find us. So the Art Saddle podcast is on Facebook, it's on Instagram, and it's on YouTube. If you're watching, hello. If you're listening, and you want to check out the videos of who we talk to and check out us, you can watch us on YouTube. We're on every other streaming platform as well. So if you're on anywhere there and you enjoy what we do, make sure you go on and give us an hour review. You can give a 5-star review, really helpful.
And iTunes and Pocket Cast, I think you can leave reviews on. Podcast Addict. There's a few of them you can leave reviews. If you can at all, 5 stars and leave a nice little note, that helps us out.
And if you're on, nice little note. And if you're on Spotify, you can give the love heart as well, can't you?
I don't know. I think it's just follow on Spotify. There's no interaction with the podcast other than just follow and listen.
Well, that's a load of shite, isn't it? Fucking bastards.
Yeah, it's just so strange. They're pushing it to be such a big podcast platform and they don't have any real interaction on it. Yeah.
But you can check us out there. If you want to get in touch with the podcast to tell us how great we are, or to tell us you want a certain guest on, or we can talk about an artist or a song or a movie or a TV show, or if you have some dad jokes, it's theartsaddle@gmail.com.
That's right.
And you can get us there or slide into our DMs. Slide into mine because Copper's DMs is always busy, wink wink. So you can get in touch with us. And we have a Patreon as well.
Hey.
So if you have €1 a month for 4 extra episodes and other wild things that we're gonna do, we've got things planned. We do indeed. So €1 a month. That is patreon.com/theartsaddle.
That's it.
Cha-ching.
Check our link tree, of course, to see the direct link in case we get it wrong.
Yes. So that pays for the Art Saddle. It pays for Copper's back waxing as well.
Yeah.
So it's great. You're really
crack. Yeah.
It's vital.
Because if you don't pay for it, he'll make me do it, and that kind of way. I can't be touching people's ass.
Didn't go well last time.
No, it didn't. It didn't go well at all. I'm traumatized. But that's all the places you can find us.
Walker, where can they find you?
So I'm in the middle of this changeover.
Yeah, I noticed
that.
So
I've walked away from the old account. So I was on Instagram for quite a while. So I've accumulated, I don't know what you call them anymore, spammers, bots, and everyone in between.
65,000 followers, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we ran the numbers, and I won't mention them, but they're embarrassing compared to what the reality should be. So I was like, you know what, scrap this. We're going for new sound. We're writing original stuff. So yeah, you'll find me at Walker Tex Music going forward. We were Walker Tex 69 It's not that we've grown up and we're dropping the 6-9 out. We just are going a different way for now.
You should have put the new one, Walker Tex 420. You know,
my 2 favorite numbers, man. How did you know?
Yeah, just go check out Walker's music. I suppose today we're going to talk about a bit of music news and also playing originals, as musicians playing originals versus covers, and also, Keenan, you suggested how taste evolves as you grow older. So I suppose the main topics we're going to cover. Well, I suppose we'll jump into the music news first. Do you want to start off, Keenan, with whatever you got? Show me what you got.
What you got? Now, give me the intro. You know the News at 9 with Keenan Flannery. Welcome. What's the story?
Story, bud.
What's the story, boss? So we have a bit of news. Some exciting things have happened, and I like when news pops up about stuff that we've already talked about on the podcast. They're like evolutionary things. So one of the things that was awesome was what's it? Portishead. You know the band Portishead?
Name rings a bell.
So one of they put up a lot of music on SoundCloud, and SoundCloud worked with them in terms of royalties, and they were working on trying different royalty schemes and stuff like that.
Right.
So Spotify runs this thing called a pro rata. Rata.
Yeah.
That's the one. Rata. Pro rata. Pro rata. They walk off that, which is basically you take the pool of money from whatever genre it is, and it's distributed out based on your shareholding that genre. So if you're in pop, even if you get loads of streams, whatever money is allocated towards pop, most of them might go to Ed Sheeran, might go to, whoever. Same with country, same with thing. But this other one called fan-powered royalties, and we've talked about this, and it's about put €10 in, your money goes towards the artist you listen. So we just listened to Walker Tex. You're going to get my 10 for the month. And they found out that using this system, Portishead made 500% more royalties than the systems that Spotify have in place. So it just kind of shows the effectiveness of actually listening to what the fan base has to say and what they listen to. Now, before I get your ideas on it, we've also talked about this in the podcast of why don't they just use this very clearly better system? And we talked about the idea of it's obviously to do with shareholders, and it's to do with companies and whoever is funding Spotify and all these big 3 labels that have a grasp on Spotify. They're probably the reason why we're not getting this fan-powered royalty system. But what do you think? What do you think of this wild number of 500% more?
It's a hell of a lot. What's your thoughts on Spotify in general, Walker?
Like, it's a good beginning platform to me. But then we didn't we didn't have the flexibility like the SoundCloud method that you've ran through there. Like, until now, I have not been aware of that. So if that's going to be new, then I can see a change in a lot of artists thinking we can go straight there. If it's a more reasonable kind of cut, because that's the downside with Spotify is you can go there without a label, but you're earning minimum even for your own songs. And there's a lot of where do you put your money? You have to put it in the marketing and get your awareness and your reach to let people know that you're on there as well. So you're kind of
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, it's like buying a car. You're just constantly throwing money at it. Whereas you need a model that's kind of, I know business is business and everybody needs to make money, but that kind of works both ways. So if SoundCloud do it that way and everybody's getting their little piece of the pie, then that's awesome. Everyone's in harmony all of a sudden. It'll be interesting to see how it progresses, though, as it gets more exposure, I think, and as more artists maybe try and push for that.
Yeah.
Well, it's very true that you say that, and I think it seems like the most common approach. Seems like the most rational approach. Ship to somewhere where artists are making the money that they deserve based on the stream. But if all three of us go, say we go, taking our music off Spotify, we're going to SoundCloud. That's all good. But the only way there's going to be a change is if there's a big shift from the big artists. And none of them are making a shift because they're all controlled by the labels that are actually the reason why this is happening. Yeah. You know, that kind of way. So,
the only man actually was coming up in the news, Mr. Garrett Brooks. He's one of the only big musicians, you could say, that's still not on Spotify. None of his stuff is on Spotify, on iTunes. Well, I don't know if it's on iTunes, but it's definitely not on Spotify or these streaming services. You can only go to, buy CDs from Amazon or, his website or whatever it is. Did you just know that he's not on it at all?
I wasn't aware of that.
No.
But I'd say like he's one of these guys who's obviously at a level where he has some form of control with what the label tell him to do. He's like,
yes.
Do you know what? Nah, we're not going to do that today. He strikes me as that kind of guy, and because he's that progressed in his career, he has the facility to be able to turn around and say no every once in a while.
Yeah, that's right. I think, was it Taylor Swift? She wasn't on it for a few years, but then maybe, I think it was 2 years ago, she did go onto it, and she's still on it now to this day, I think. I think it was Taylor Swift anyway.
I think it was. I remember there being a big story about that. But there's pockets of artists that are just not there on certain platforms. And I guess it's all around the legalities behind the big bad labels at the end of the day.
It's true. It does kind of, I suppose, limit you in a way, though, because say if a fan wants to listen to your music and they have Spotify, but you're not on Spotify, they're just not going to listen to you then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
A lot of people will check out a song that you have on Spotify, and from that song, they will go and listen to your other stuff, and then they might go and buy your music, go to your show, bet your merch. But it is a initiation stage. Like, it's not like, back in like I was talking to my dad about this, and I'm sure my granddad would have said the same thing. Once you go back, there is some bands and some artists, especially bands that you probably didn't even know what they looked like. You probably didn't know what the lead singer looked like. You just knew their album art. And that's why back then you had bands like The Who, the what, the where, the why, the how. You can recognize their logo. They have a certain, Kiss, Oasis. They have a certain logo that is indistinguishable. And so people knew that. People didn't know the artist. They knew the voice and that. And now it's getting more public. You might know me before you know my music. So that's where this idea of personal or public kind of image and the image of the importance of image.
It's the whole social media aspect now. You have to get on and show your face, put up selfies, tell your story, and then the music comes last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that kind of weird way it's gone.
Did you see the new Instagram update?
No.
With sharing. No.
Oh, is this the reshare thing? So if I go into my stories and just want to share my last post, all of a sudden now, I can't do that easier, or have I just gotten older again in the last couple of days?
No. So it's weird because they introduced it, but it's not on every single account. So I have a handful of accounts. I have a private thing that I don't use. I have the Also Collective. I have the Art Saddle, and I have my own one. And a few of them don't. A few of them you can just, you click the share, the little paper plane thing. Share the story and it goes up. But they added in a new way, and I looked it up, and I think they added it in because they were sick of giveaways. So, this, reshare my post for a giveaway.
Yeah.
They want to control the promotion by paid advertising. So what they done is they made
holy shit.
So they made it harder. So basically, it hasn't done it for you, Cop, has it?
I haven't noticed it. My account is different as well. It's an artist account or something. The thing where
You've got like
can't show-
creator or business, and I think the
That's a
creator,
creator,
one,
I think, yeah.
you're pushed all these new features first.
The weird thing is I can't share a story unless someone tags me in it. Do you know what I mean? I can't share anything unless, like, if Keenan just put up a post, a picture of me, but he didn't mention me in it, I can't then share that story. It's a weird, stupid thing. I don't know why. But I haven't noticed. I haven't been on
the new
Instagram really
system
today anyway.
is, so you can't share. You can't click on a post and share. You now have to go under the camera. You either take a picture, or you hit a button called create, and that gives you like a colored background.
Yeah.
And then you know the bit that you click on the top, and you can select music or select them. You can select the song to play, or you can do emojis through them as well and put them on the screen.
Yeah.
If you click on that, there'll be a new thing called reshare. And you have to go through that and find the post that you want to share, which makes it so it's no longer a share my post. It's really easy. Now you have to do the system where it takes a solid probably 20 seconds to 25, 30 seconds to do if you're only doing it for the first time or first couple of times. We know with social media and with TikTok, people's fucking brain spans have just decreased.
Yeah.
So they don't have the time to do that. So they're like, I can't figure it out.
Yeah. If they can't do it in free clicks, they're gone. Like that's,
gone.
I think that's the growing trend.
Yeah. Go to any website and you can't find what you want in 3 clicks. They're going to
you're gone.
Somewhere else. Yeah.
So it's weird the way they have that new system now. But it's all money.
They're making a killing off promotions and Facebook ads, and
that's it.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. But at the same time, you kind of need it as well.
That's it. Again, you were saying as well about even if you have, like, say, 2,000 followers, only 3% of your followers actually see your post organically. And then you have to boost it in order for the rest of your actual followers that already follow you to see the post that you're putting out. Is that what you said? Something 3.3% or something like that?
Super small, yeah.
Yeah, it's tiny. Tiny. So it's getting harder and harder. But again, I suppose from their point of view, they have to do something because there's so many people using the service to push out so much stuff, and you can kind of see where they're coming from. At the same time, they're taking it way too far, and they've like,
oh yeah, but that's big companies for you.
Yeah.
They don't go, well, we're making enough money.
We'll take it easy for 6 months. Yeah. Everyone go home.
Everyone go home, relax. Everything is working fine. Like the minute everything starts working fine, like you notice when Instagram and all kind of started, just panic to make it great because nothing fucking worked right. And then the minute everything starts working right, they're like, how can we shag people? How can we fucking ride them? You know what they're doing?
How far can we push them?
How far can we push them? You know what they're doing? They're fucking riding us. Right?
And we're paying for it. We're the ones paying for it, man. We're giving them money.
We're going, we hate it, but we kind of need it.
We're stuck.
It's like fucking Instagram's like that bad boy that all the women know he's an asshole, but they're like, but he's so cool. Like, he's an asshole. Fuck him.
Leave him and move on.
Yeah. Make sure you take that. Make sure you take a fuck Instagram and use that as a clip to promote, right?
And we'll pay for it as well, just for the fucking.
Here we go.
The hell of it.
Yeah. Write that down. Yeah. Well, yes.
Writing it down.
Write down. Right. Fuck Instagram. Shower of fucks. There you go. I made it. So we're going to take that clip. Up it goes. We're going to tag Instagram in it. They're going to see it, obviously, because we're a huge
And then
podcast.
we're going to get shadow banned. Yay.
Yeah. Yay.
$1 a day, 7 days. We're golden, man.
The thing is, the mad thing about the ads is you have to sink a lot of money into them to be productive or effective. Yeah. I know, Copper, you were doing a lot of work on ads and you were trying to figure it out, and you were saying, like, for the money you were putting in, were you seeing much return? Like,
not really. I think for the last single I put out, No Front Door, it's still small budget compared to what you probably should be doing, but I did like €100 over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, I guess, something like that, give or take. But yeah, I sank €100 into Facebook ads, and that kind of goes across Instagram as well. So at least you have that. But I don't know. I got maybe a few hundred clicks, Well,
Did you break even in terms of like if we try and work out what the stream was from iTunes and
probably got
Spotify and
like
all?
a tenner in streams, like
Jeez.
so I'm down like €90 probably, like if even.
But that's funny as well, because like in the 90s, the record industry, and even to this day, it's still in its kind of older model state as a business. It runs at a loss. It's one of those businesses that kind of just keeps going, but never actually recoups what they're throwing into artists. It's all through different streams. It's such a weird.
If this band
industry
flops, then we go over to this band, and that'll recoup the losses for that other band, and then this other band will come in, and that kind of stuff.
And then you have the new thing, which is the 360 record deals. I don't know if you know about these ones.
I don't think we've talked about that already, have we?
We haven't.
No.
Do you know what a 360 record deal is?
Is this where you're like you're told, like, so if you don't recoup the X amount of hundreds of thousands that they pay you for the deal, then you're kind of tied to them, and whatever, if they say, oh, like, you're going to do this commercial, you're going to go interview with this person. Is that
not entirely. So initially, you'd have a record deal for a record, and they would own, you'd walk out whatever you're walking out with them. But the 360 record deals are like they're like record deals combined with management deals and promotion deals, and basically they take a percentage of everything. So they go, well, tour tickets will take 10% of that, merch we're going to take 15%. So everything, even though they're giving you money for a record, they give you 10 grand. No, it's probably definitely not that much anymore. They didn't give you 10 grand to do a record. You go out, you're basically, that's your pay. And I know a few bands that have done that, to where they take the 10 grand or take whatever they get, and instead of going to a studio, they buy their own gear, they record it themselves, and then they split the money equally, because they're not going to see any fucking money for a long while.
Yeah.
So they take that, and then everything you do, so basically, you'll never see money from that record deal until you even on the record, and that's just on the record. Everything else, they'll never stop taking it. So if you're signed to someone for 5 years, and you recoup the money that, after a year they get the 10 grand back. For the next 4 years, they get a percentage of your everything, and they walk it out with you. So it's fucking from merch to sales to fucking
Jesus, man,
tickets to everything that you make that's trackable, and it's called a 360 record deal. Now, the reason it's there is because music is not as lucrative now as it was.
It's no physical sales anymore.
Yeah, that kind of way,
Yeah. So it used to be that the musician or the band have full money from the tours and the merch and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Only the record label have the records and CD, but now they're taking a piece of the whole pie.
Piece of the whole pie.
Piece of the whole
there
pie.
You go. You're getting nothing.
It's like the worst student loan ever. Like, it's just fucking, it's always there. And this one you have to pay back. Like,
and when you pay it back, they still keep fucking you.
Yeah, they'll take more.
Exactly. Will we move on to the next bit of news that I have here?
You hit me.
I hit you. I didn't hit you. Don't be making such allegations.
Allegedly.
So I mentioned him already. Mr. Garrett Brooks. He's a country music legend, icon, all the words you can think of. And
allegedly,
back in obviously 20.
Just keep using allegedly so you don't get in trouble.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, Garrett Brooks.
Garrett Brooks. Mr. Garrett.
Garrett Brooks.
He is. So he's announced that he's going to play several, it says, Irish concerts next year. And this is obviously going back off the whole fiasco of, I think it was 2014, when he was due to play 5 gigs in Croke Park, like back to back, and all the residents gave out and the whole thing was cancelled, and he's like, soured on Ireland and all this kind of stuff.
Well, did he not, they didn't give him the license.
Yes, because I think all the residents were like, we can't have more than, more than 2 or 3 nights in a row, because we'll be up all
so
night.
They didn't give him the license. He was like, it's either 5 or none.
That's it, yeah.
So he didn't do, and he didn't do any of them.
Yeah. So it's going to be a bit different this time. He's going to he's doing a few gigs around the country, not just Croke Park, which is actually pretty damn cool. He's going to Limerick's Thomond Park, Cork's Park McQueeve and Nolan Park in Kilkenny.
Nolan Park, great venue. I see Bob Dylan there.
Yeah. And he's doing one show in Croke Park and it'll be live streamed to cinemas around the world. So it's like next level this is going to be. So who's buying tickets? So you get who's going? Do you think? What do you think? What do you think about Garrett Brooks in general?
Like,
Blaming all on my roots.
blaming all on my roots. Yeah, like I mean, he's got those hits. Okay, brilliant, and I'm sure he's done some amazing songwriting. He's just, he's never been for me, and I say that very cautiously with two avid Irish. All right,
we're ending this call. Good
people.
luck.
Yeah, that's it. Get him out next.
Get out.
But yeah, like I remember when the whole thing kicked off and he had to cancel, man. And like I think I had just moved here. It was fairly recent enough when that news broke. And dude, like I was living in the middle of the countryside, and it was like all anyone talked about for. It wasn't even weeks; it was months. Like,
oh yeah,
they were just not letting it go. Like,
at the time,
yeah, the country was like standstill, man. It was crazy. He's never been kind of on my radar, but again, I know the kind of the crowd pleasers.
Yeah. What do you think of Garrett Brooks, Keenan?
Sorry, take him or leave him. Really, I think. I remember he done a really good episode of SNL back in the bleeding late 90s, where he prays to the devil, which was Will Ferrell for a love song. Do you remember that? Yeah,
is this the one where he's like the devil's trying to write the song in the bedroom and stuff, and he's shite.
Yes,
so bad.
Fast lane in the boxcar, Mr. Robotron, and he's like, I don't want to tell you, Mr. Devil, but that sucks. I just a rap. I'm the devil, and I'm here to say I'm the. I'm a homies and my bitches say, oh yeah. And I didn't trust him with his little hair here.
The little
man.
You can't be too careful though.
Yeah. Never trust a man with a fallen down Hitler tash. Right? Tell you that.
Top lip.
Like, there's a certain age you have to be to get to that stage, and there's a certain place you could probably hang out and get away with it. But I don't know, man. Like in the real world, we tend to just shy away from that once you hit a certain age. Like,
if you can't grow the full thing,
just
don't grow the top.
Cut it.
I thought I wasn't too into. I know the crowd pleasing. Now I am going to offend them slightly, because obviously the old people, you can ignore them because they will complain. But the younger crowd that had moved in near Croke Park, now this is controversial, so don't out me, but they've moved in near Croke Park, and they're giving out about gigs in a big stadium as if it wasn't going, as if they didn't move beside a big stadium. It's like, oh no.
What do you mean there's a gig in Croke Park?
What do you mean there's a gig in the biggest fucking stadium in Dublin? What do you mean? Like, it's not like it was announced a year ago and fucking I didn't know of it. So I think it was the same thing that happened. I don't know if you know Mum was about Walker, but we had smokestacks built, like an incinerator built in Dublin, and everyone wanted it. We need an incinerator, and then they were like, "We're gonna put it in Ringsend," and everyone in Ringsend went, "No, we don't really want it anymore.
Yeah, we don't need it that.
We don't need it anymore."
I mean,
that's the big problem we have in Ireland. It's like everyone wants the best thing or whatever, but like our wind turbines or whatever.
The wind turbines.
Don't put it near me. It's one of those.
Yeah. What was the dinosaur? They're killing all the birds.
But look, remember I was saying that you couldn't actually stream Garrett Brooks on Spotify and that. So I wanted to get into him there like a few years ago. Wanted to learn a few songs and stuff. So I went out and actually got his greatest hits. I have it here. And you have to actually go and physically find a copy and buy it, which is
old school,
radical in this day and age. But you know, I did it. And I do like his stuff. He's pretty damn, he's pretty good. He gets a bad rap maybe, I suppose, but He has some good shit. Like, and did you know he had a kind of a rock phase? He had
this is
a different name.
Going back to that trusting point that Keenan had, like, this is another reason I don't know if I trust that, because it wasn't just
so
to
weird.
me. It could have happened totally different, but to me, it's literally in my head. He walks off stage one night as an upcoming rock star, and the very next day he's like out there changed, and it's country time. And I'm like, that's how fast I think it happened in my head. But
he was Chris Gaines for a while. He had like emo black hair kind of down across his face. And
maybe
that's black eyeliner and all this kind of stuff.
Maybe that's the big thing. He was the like godfather of emo, and they can't accept that because
he was well ahead of his time.
So
this was like early 2000s, I think it was. Yeah.
Garrett Brooks was I've never seen him as an emo. I'm gonna look it up now.
Dude, Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Gaines. I haven't done a Copper's Corner on him yet. I hope I will in the future.
if anyone of us ever meets him, we really do have to go up and go, "Hello, Garth Brooks." Of course, we all know that's not your real name. And then just like bring up this whole previous career. I think more people need to know about it.
No way.
Yes, exactly.
He looks like what's the lead singer of The Cure?
Robert Smith.
Lead singer of The Cure, right? Yeah, Robert Smith.
What was the name? Robert
Smith.
Robert Smith, yeah.
Robert Smith. Just imagine him if he just done a fuck ton of heroin. Oh my God, what the fuck, man? Man, he's gonna hunt my... I love this one. Someone put them like all anxiety to...
Oh, the hair. Like, it's so good.
Look at that, man.
That's your wallpaper now.
Yeah. That is your wallpaper, yeah. It's so funny. Oh! Look at that!
Oh, Jesus.
Look
at Tommy Lee or something. But jeez. Did you not know about that at all, Tina? No. That's brilliant. This is yeah. He had this whole thing there last year as well, where he did these video promotion for his like latest album or something. He was like, he's doing these like to camera pieces, and he's like, I hear you like country music. I like that. And he's all this weird, creepy vibe to him. It was so funny. So I can't remember exactly, but look it up as well. So just like top creepy Garrett Brooks videos, and just like, I like that, and all this kind of shit. So weird. He was trying to be social media savvy, but you could tell he just wasn't.
But it's like for these guys, I always find it weird when they do the social media thing and say like, "Oh, I've got to get on social media," because they've done interviews, they've done TV with cameras sizes we can't even fathom stuck in their faces, and they can't to this little device, and it just seems like they crumble all of a sudden. I'm like, the process is the same. You're more in control as well. You've got nothing to be worried about here. You're established, man. I don't get it. Maybe it's the curse of old age. I don't know. Yeah. We get one day you wake up and you suddenly cannot use any devices or anything.
So who's buying tickets? I think I actually might like.
Now you're definitely buying tickets. It's geometrical, like fuck. It's perfect, man. Like it's like the fucking pyramids. It perfectly lines up with the stars and shit. Like
but yeah. Yeah, there's one person on his staff that just sees to his little smig, make sure it's perfectly triangle, no hair out of place. I like it.
Yeah.
Is there any other bits of news at all, Keenan?
There is.
Or even Walker, did you have any bit of news that you want to?
Any bit of
I don't know. I've been following Metallica's little interview circuit around the US promoting the Black Album and the Blacklisted album
as well. Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I seen the part of the Jimmy Kimmel one. The amount of people they have on that record as well.
Yeah, there's 50 songs on it.
Yeah, like some of the covers are brilliant. But they were saying like when they were thinking of which artists they were gonna potentially get in to do the covers, they sent out way too many, and they weren't expecting the response they got, and that's why the album's like doubled and like tripled in song lengths. Like,
so, if anyone doesn't know what Walker's talking about, Metallica's Black Album is it 30 years old?
Yeah,
I think it's the anniversary this year, and they put out for loads of people to record their own versions of the song, and now they've released the Blacklist, I think it's called, isn't it?
Yeah,
so it's a cover album, and there's like 50 different artists, but there's like multiples of the same songs. So like could be 10 of Nothing Else Matters and 2 of Holier Than Thou and all this kind of stuff. And you have the weirdest, the oddest kind of people that you wouldn't think would do a Metallica song doing it. So you have Chris Stapleton is a country hero of mine. He did Nothing Else Matters, and it's amazing. It's like an 8-minute long epic version of Nothing Else Matters. It's brilliant.
They had like Miley Cyrus, Elton John done Nothing Else Matters as well. They have like Volbeat. They had My Morning Jacket done a cover of.
I heard the Volbeat one as well. Yeah, that's good.
There's so
many.
The
Ghost version of Enter Sandman. Do you know Ghost?
No, not yet, but I gotta check that out though.
It's really Ghost. It's vibe. Like they've really made it their own kind of thing. It's
nice.
It's very good.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, but they're on. They're on Jimmy Kimmel, and they're performing in front of that big observatory. And
they're in Griffith Observatory out in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's a hell of a place. Yeah,
and then they did reacting to 1-star reviews of the Black Album. Did you see that part?
I didn't see the reactions to the 1-star reviews, but
after a while, like James is reading it, and I was like, "Oh, this is the most saddest, pathetic album I've ever heard," and he's just like, "What the hell are we doing here?" He just pushed down the phone. "Jimmy, you have your phone back." And he's just like stormed off and threw a chair across the camera. So it's really good. Are you into Metallica much, Keenan? I don't think we ever talked about Metallica.
Well, yeah, I know a few of the songs and I've listened to them, but I wouldn't call myself much of a Metallica fan kind of that way. You know that?
Whereas I've seen them 4 times. I'm a bit of a head case.
I've seen it. I think I've seen them. I topped out at 3. That was my limit. Like,
my last gig was Slane before the whole pandemic. Was going to see Metallica in Slane there in 2019. I think it was. Yeah. So but you did know about this Blacklist album at all, Keenan? No,
I don't know anything about it.
There'll be a few on there you'll like though, because like literally, man, this goes into genres that we don't even know exist. Like there's a lot Vincent, on there.
Just that Irish guy. What's that Irish guy? He's a big. Can't remember his name now. He's a big like pop singer at the moment. He's like one of the biggest pop singers in Ireland.
Gavin James.
Got the power over me.
Oh, Dan McKenboy.
Dan McKenboy. I think he does a cover of a song. I think.
Does he?
I'm not sure.
We gotta check that out.
I love when like pop singers do covers of metal songs.
Oh,
did anyone see that? I just that song fucking it was some fucking emo Slipknot song and some like pop band did it. I'll find it. Go on, Copper. Fire away and I'm fucking find it for you.
I had a dad joke that actually one of our patrons, Carl Lewis, sent in, and that actually reminds me of it. She says, "Why does Pepsi never promote country music? Because it's not pop." Ba-dum-bum. Yeah. That joke's galore. Hey.
Will I give you a dad joke?
Go ahead.
Well, give us a second now. I have to get it up. Like, I'm not going away.
Oh, jeez, there's pills for that.
You can't just be diving into the man. Like,
a little bit of foreplay, folks. Hey.
You gotta work up to it.
Here we go. She goes, I'll send you some. You probably shouldn't sell some of them, but I'll send them anyway. How do you How do you make a pool table laugh? You
How do
tickle
you-
its balls.
That's a good one.
And then she goes, what did she say? She goes, some of them probably shouldn't leave my brain. And I'm like, I'm telling them anyway. Would you like another one?
Yeah.
What did the toaster say to the bread?
Get inside me.
Yeah, thanks for stealing me fucking joke. Like,
I think she
not
said
like
that
good.
to me as well.
Much love to Carol. Your jokes are great. Keep sending them.
Here's a
Keep
question
sending
for
them.
you. What do you put into a toaster?
Fucking
Bread.
a fork.
Fuck yeah, bread. That's the right answer. It's just a little trick question because some people put, you put toast in the toaster. No, it's bread.
That's what you get out, though.
That's what you get out.
There you go. I took it a bit of a different approach with fork.
Fork. Yeah, you went dark.
I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. Don't worry. I'm completely grand. We don't need to talk about this, okay? She goes, let me see the other ones. I'm trying to pick my favorite shitty one. What are the strongest days of the week?
I don't know.
Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, primo dad joke, that one.
Well done to Carol. Go on, give it up for
yeah.
Carol. Fair play to you. Your jokes are great.
Speaking of jokes, though, Walker. No, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need to say right there, man.
I was just going to ask you, the name Walker Tex. What's the inspiration behind it? I'm guessing where it's coming from, but
it is kind of a mix of things. So Walker's one of my middle names.
Okay.
And I always wanted to use that. And then I've got this weird attraction to the dark side of kind of country music, and in my head I associate that with Texas, and then you've got Walker Texas Ranger, of course. I mean, all signs point to Texas, man, for certain things, not everything though. But it just kind of it comes up everywhere, So I was like, you know what, I'll just use that, and it's one of those things.
Yeah, I was thinking it's related to Chuck Norris. All right, yeah.
And I listened to a few tunes as well for the episode, and then I read your bio at the end of Spotify, and in my head, I had it in my head, and even having your bio, you're heavily influenced by grunge, and I could hear so much of it in it, and it's unreal. You have such a kind of raspiness to your voice. It's really beautiful. I really enjoyed your stuff. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's one of those things. I think at the minute, the stage I'm at is trying to get more genre specific and go for this particular sound. So my producer friend that I'm working with we're really focused on different reference tracks and kind of, what do you like about the sound? Yourself, do you like the reverb that they have in this piece? Do you like the this or that? So we're on that journey of trying to get the sound that we're going for. So we're hoping that the grunge kind of still remains the influence, and I think it'll become more predominant as I get into the original stuff I'm writing.
Cool. So I suppose I was going to lead this on to the topic conversation, but is there any more news to talk about before we want to talk about original versus covers?
Here, and I'll mention it because as well as I that I never fact check anything.
Yeah.
And I also just read headlines. So
great journalistic
my kind of guy.
Yeah.
Just give me the brief.
I would do phenomenally in an American media.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like Trump did this, and then I'd just say nothing else and just let the whole world go on fire. So one of TikTok's partners, they're called Boyd Dance. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word, but they got an exclusivity ship with not one of the big three labels, but a kind of smaller label, and TikTok is working alongside them to make their own streaming platform. So might have a little competitor in the mix, and
Ooh.
it's kind of nice to hear the SoundCloud thing. So, you know, obviously, you know, they don't have exclusivity with any of the large artists, but the semi-pro and pro, not well-known artists, they could get a pull on if they bring in that kind of, you know, user-powered royalty system. They could get some. They could undercut the shit out of Spotify, and then not only will that make them big, it actually might make Spotify have to react,
Yeah.
and Spotify might actually have to change their policies to keep people on board. You know that kind
But
of
would you
way?
think Spotify are like too big to even care? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Not yet.
no one's too big if the threat is big enough. You know that kind of way?
Okay.
Like, Spotify might read this and laugh, but if they do a big promotional launch and then do a big promotional launch about a new royalty system, where maybe even do a thing where they're charging less for subscription, so maybe instead of €10 for adult and €5 for student, it's €5 across the board.
Yeah.
And your favorite art, whoever you listen to, gets a percentage out of that money. Now, I think if they took that approach, you know, if they took that and they've done a big promotional push on it and got loads of people on board, they already have exclusivity with some small labels. If they could even, you know, get someone on board, and Jesus, God forbid, if they could get even one of the big three on board, I think that's a threat enough to get Spotify to kind of react, you know, kind of way. So you never know.
Yeah, never know. Yeah. That's interesting.
It's how they how are they going to get round? So, like, let's take Spotify, where there's 1,000,000,001 people coming into up and coming artists' DMs. Being like, I can put you on this playlist for $100, and boom, overnight, yeah, everyone's going to love you. Like, how does the new model, if they create new apps with that model, how do they mitigate that kind of action going on again? Like I think that'll be their biggest challenge.
Yeah, there'll always be that kind of person looking to take advantage and promote your stuff.
This is
money.
it.
You
like,
give me money, I'll promote you.
Well, if Spotify, I'll be honest, Spotify has not done a good job on making the public aware of these scams. So no matter
very true, yeah.
You know,
man.
I've been told by music. I watch music pages that talk about it. I've been told by artists. But you really think Spotify should, if they ran a 30-second ad on Spotify for the people that aren't paying, and for the people that are, maybe have like a little banner that says "Never pay."
Yeah,
for
man.
Playlist.
Yeah,
if they had that would fucking do and they run it, so they don't even have to pay to put an ad there.
Yeah,
if they
theirs.
own the thing, and then that almost it puts a bit of trust in Spotify, so.
And they could be getting, like, instead of artists sort of reaching out to these playlist curators and 90% of them coming back saying, oh, it's going to cost you this much. Spotify could be making a killing doing the same sort of thing and just like promoting the ads that the artists are putting out. Spotify ads is not available like in, I don't know if it's Europe or just Ireland, but it's not available yet. But most of the guys in the US I speak with, they could utilize it.
Oh, yes.
So it's kind of it's a weird one. I don't know what the reasons are for not bringing it out.
You can promote your music, but you get less on the streaming back end.
Yeah,
like that, isn't it?
So the big three, the big label that are in with Spotify, they have a thing where they take less royalties per stream. So weirdly enough, a lot of your favorite artists, like, and a lot of the big artists that are doing really well now, are probably making less per stream compared to us. But they're like, the big three will be like, all right, well, we have a bloke over here, his name's fucking Eddie Sheeran, and we want you to promote, we want you to put banners all over Spotify. We'll take half the royalties if you put a thing, and they'll go, deadly, here you go. So you know.
Yeah.
But having a system, you have to be careful with it because, you know, Spotify, Instagram and Facebook does lend itself to some fucking shit ads. Man, the amount of religious ads I've gotten on Spotify just been like, oh man.
Well, hold on, you don't pay for Spotify?
I mean, Instagram, not Spotify.
Well, like, I mean, I was going to say, like, if you doing all this Spotify rant, and then I found out you didn't actually pay for Spotify, you're using the free version. Like, for fuck's sake, Keenan.
I tell you one thing: if I could pirate Spotify, I would.
Oh Lord.
But
yeah, let's get off the Spotify ranting for a little bit and talk about talk about Walker again for a sec, because I said this on the other podcast where your music, what you do is you kind of get these songs that are happy, and then you turn down the happy dial, and there's like it puts this whole new spin on these songs, and you kind of realize, oh, the lyrics in these songs aren't very happy, and you kind of see the song for what it is. And as I said as well, like it's really relaxing to hear the music that you've put out so far. It's like you're floating in the fish tank, and you're just like, or like one of those sensory deprivation tanks or something like that.
It's real ambient. Yeah, I think I did go through that kind of that little phase where it was more about ambient noises, and that was gonna build and be the backbone of the covers that I was doing.
Yeah.
But it's good. Glad to hear it worked out.
Definitely. And now you say you're going into your own more, I suppose, original direction, getting a new sound and stuff. And how's it going for you so far?
We're getting there, and we have a few ideas. We have a lot of lyrics written. And when I say me, I mean myself and Rolf Conrad, who's producing, and we're co-writing and doing different instrumental bits as well. So we're going for this outlaw folk sound.
Cool.
And just trying to get the grunge vocals brought out a bit more as well.
Nice,
so we've got one original is done. It's mixed and mastered, and it's a little taster, I think.
Pocket.
Yeah, it's not that I'm keeping it in the back pocket. There's a lot of steps you have to go through when you, as I am totally blissfully unaware of, when you go from doing covers to originals, you now have to protect you. Whereas when it's someone else's song, DistroKid, TuneCore, whoever, we'll cover all the legalities, don't worry. And then when you get into it, you're like, okay, we really need to make sure we're protected. And the more you work with other musicians, you're like, we really need to be protected, because if something ever happens, and you don't want to get into those situations. So that's the hesitancy around getting it out. But I reckon around October we'll have that one. We're working on a little bit of working on Lake of Fire right now, which is a cover. I'll give you that, but it's a test to get this sound that we're going for. That's my excuse anyway, to work on another cover. And then I've got like 2 more originals that are in the pipeline. But yeah, I think it's like, for one, it's definitely a lot harder when you go from doing covers to your original. And if you haven't really dabbled too much into it. So luckily I've got someone else to lean on who can guide through the process, and we can work on bits together. But yeah, it's a whole new beast. And,
So, like, I suppose one of the main topics of conversation for this episode was doing, as a musician, doing originals versus doing covers. Because as even a musician starting off, if you're playing gigs and pubs and whatever, you'd want to be doing covers. You want to be playing picking.
You're going to need to be heavily weighted. You're doing.
Because you want people to instantly know the song you're playing, and it's like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I listen to this guy sing, and then I like his voice now. I kind of follow on.
And then you hit them with the originals, the real tearjerker stuff. That's when you get them.
Whereas it's harder if you start off and you're singing originals that no one knows, and they can't relate to it, and they can't get into your style and stuff. So, like Keenan, I don't know if I don't think I've ever heard you play a cover that I can think of. It's all original stuff you're doing.
Well, I've never released a cover, but I mean, social media.
Yeah,
I do it. And before COVID, I used to work as a session musician in the pubs in Temple Bar, which is heavily tourist based.
Yeah.
So you have to play the hits.
You know, I'll be doing the
Black
Sweet
Velvet
Caroline.
Band like 100 times a day and stuff.
That's it. Well, I'm heavily influenced by ballad music anyway.
Yeah.
So I would do a lot of the ballads and the rebel music as well.
Yeah.
So fuck your Union Jack. We want that country back in all these tunes, like. And but we would like I would be heavily like in terms of my writing, but I never really. I play a lot of covers, but there hasn't been only till recently now. And Copper would know the song that I love. The cover I love playing is called Cod Liver Oil.
Oh,
and
yes.
the orange juice. And if you're based in Scotland, it's actually from a Glaswegian folk singer called Hamish Imlock.
Hamish Imlock. Let me write this down.
Write it down. Write it. It's a great song. It made. I kind of hear that, and a lot of people in Ireland heard it from a band called the Mary Wallopers. They're a folk band from Ireland. But Hamish Imlock is unreal. But I would if the next like big record, next like big like EP or album I'll do, I probably will do a version of Cod Liver Oil on it because I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's about a bird called Hairy Mary, and she's from Glasgow, and she became a mother. And you know the song. You ever heard the song not Hairy, fucking Virgin Mary had a little baby.
Yeah.
So Hamish used, it's fucking just such a religious kind of like song, and he used to hear it a lot in folk clubs in Glasgow, to the point where everyone was singing it, and he got so sick of it, so he wrote a song parodying it, where instead of the Virgin Mary, it's a well-known bird called Hairy Mary, and how she became a mammy, and it's fucking brilliant. Like, it's so
I gotta
good.
check this out. Like, yeah,
you'll love it. It's a good song. Like, but yeah, I feel like there is a line, and I was talking to a few lads. I play with a couple of balladeers from Dublin, and there's a line where you sit. So on this side, there's covers, and this side there's originals. If you're heavily this side, unless you get really fucking lucky, it's gonna be hard to make a name for yourself, and it's gonna be even fucking harder to make any fucking money.
Yeah.
If you're on this side, you might find it easier to make money, but the minute you start moving over this way as you're doing, especially like on the boys that do the ballads in Dublin find it, because they're known as ballad bands, and they're like, we can't do anything else. If we're not singing a ballad, people know us as ballad singers. We can't shift. We can't do a folk, or we can't do a country song because it's too much. It's too much of a change, and it'll freak people out. And same with that when you're doing pub gigs. Like I'm after getting back into doing a lot of pub gigs, cover shows and christenings and stuff, and it's fun. It pays, it'll put money, line your pocket for money. But if you're doing a couple of them, it can be draining, especially if you're not doing covers. Especially if
the
you're
songs
doing
you want to play.
Yeah, especially if you're doing covers that you have to play. And instead of going, well, I love country, I want to do a lot of country covers. It's like, well, I have to do Sweet Caroline. I have to do Wonderwall. I have to do these songs because, like, if I do 3 songs in a row that people don't know, the crowd is gonna turn on me.
That's what I kind of did now when I started. Like before the pandemic, I was only really getting started to play, live as Copper Kelly doing country stuff. So I was there doing all these deep cuts from country, doing like Honky Tonkin' by Hank Williams and fucking all these just real deep country cuts that I just love. Like Waylon Jennings, Ramblin' Man, all this kind of stuff.
Nice.
But then the audience, I could tell, just didn't know the songs. And then I'd play like a Garrett Brooks and kind of getting back. And then I'd play
friends in low places by any chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of, on one hand, I want to play the songs I want to play. But then there was like, I think my bassist at the time, he suggested we do it's more rocky songs. So we're playing pubs. We're not playing to a country crowd. We're playing pubs. So we're kind of saying,
dad rock songs in pubs go down a storm. Though.
That's it. Yeah. So we were going to do like David Bowie and this, that, and some Bon Jovi stuff. It's like grand. I was in a pub band before, and this is not kind of what I'm doing. As you know, Copper Kelly is kind of more country. So I was kind of weighing up the pros and cons of doing it that way. But we ended up like the pandemic came in, so we didn't have a chance to play any David Bowie or anything like that. Anyway, so it's a tough one to know what to do because. Yeah, like have you been out playing much gigs at all? Like even before the whole pandy, Walker? Were you out playing covers? Or?
Like not as many as I would have liked. It was few and far between, and like for me, it was only I got to the stage where I didn't really know if I wanted to go that way or not. So. It was kind of, the lights are on now. Excellent.
Yeah, Keane was getting so dark.
You can actually fucking see me now.
It was like, it went real gritty and dark.
That's just fucking expressing my inner sadness through the lights.
The mood just changes.
Yes. The minute I said the joke about the fork, just the lights went off and everything just got really sad.
But yeah, it's a fine line you have to tread as a musician. You want to get your own songs out there, but at the same time you have to grab people's attention.
But I think that's where social media kind of helps as well, because you can be doing the crowd pleasers or do them in a different way, and you're not just limited to the people that are in the pub that night. You know, like you're obviously wanting to get them as well involved, but if you're trying to go a different way and get your music out and your style out there, and I think social media is the kind of the good side of doing that. And you would try and obviously you build your audience, you push them to your gigs, whatever it may be. Whereas with a pub gig, it's more you know what you have to play and what wiggle room you have to play with. You know,
it's like Bob Marley said, you can't please all the people all the time. You only please some of the people some of the time.
Back on. But I tell you, the weird recommendations and requests I've gotten doing cover shows, like when people have drinks and you think they're just a fucking juice box. They were like,
yes, they were like, absolutely.
One of the girls came up. I did gig down the road with me. I won't stay at a pub now, but it's a fucking sketchy pub, like it's fucking dodgy, like. And they were like, don't play yet. And I was like, why? And they were like, because two blokes are punching the head out of each other over there. We just need to calm down. Yeah, sure, no fucking problem. Just another day in paradise, isn't it? But I started playing and some L1 comes out to me, fucking laddered she was. Yeah, you know the Tina Turner. Like, do you think I'm fucking playing Tina Turner? Do I look like a Tina Turner to you?
You look like the ideal, like, just closet Tina Turner fan, though.
I
look like someone that could sing Tina Turner, Do I look... Thanks a million, look.
I had that as well, where I was in between playing like a Willie Nelson song and a Johnny Cash song. Some guy come up to me, and look, it's great that they come up to you. I'm not giving out about that, but it's just funny as well. He comes up to me, do you know With or Without You by U2? Say, man, I haven't actually heard that song in years. I couldn't just like pick it off the top of my head and start playing it for you. Oh no, it's easy. It's like dun 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 dun.
I love that. On they go, they turn to you and they go, gives a go your guitar, I'll play.
Yeah,
like you don't play guitar, and they're like, it's simple. Oh, the last to sing it, and they're fucking. Jesus, like, man, not a note in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Head like handball, at least they have, like, fucking hell.
But I think we've gone over the hour mark. If you want to, I suppose, draw close to this main episode, but I think we'll carry on the crack over onto the Patreon episode. If you want to stay and have a chat with us, Walker.
Of course, man. Yeah, I'm good until 9.
Oh, sure, Jesus.
Yeah. We'll talk about
20
sex,
minutes of your time,
drugs, and rock and roll.
Sex,
everything we like.
That's
yes.
It. But again, Walker, where can people, the lovely listeners, find you if you want to hear your absolutely beautiful covers of songs and your original music coming out soon?
Yeah, look, stay tuned for the original stuff. Look, you can find me on Instagram. Walker Tex Music is the new place to get me. I'm on all the streaming platforms. Choose your favorite. If you're stuck, check out the link tree and the Instagram and look, say hello. Let me know how you find the cover tunes that are on Spotify right now. And yeah, stay tuned for the original material.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Definitely. But again, Keenan, if you want to tell the people where they can find the podcast social medias and your own music social media as well for the crack. Might as well. Shameless self-promotion time.
Shameless self-promotion. Yeah, so you can find all the social media for the podcast under the Art Saddle podcast. We're on all the streaming services as well.
As much as we give out about them.
As much as we give out. We don't pay for them. Money grabbing fuck.
We need them, but we're not paying.
We're everywhere else. You can get in touch through our DM or the artsaddle@gmail.com. This guy won't leave me alone now. If you're not watching if you're not watching YouTube, you're missing out. Look at his little eyes. He's having a little peek now. But yeah, he not him, me. We're all everywhere. The artsaddle@gmail.com. You relax, will you? You relax.
For those that can't see, Keenan's dog is messing with his wind filter, pop filter, and he's.
Well, I gave him a rub. And then
Red Rocket.
The minute that's leave that for the bonus episode. Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, I'm on them, and if you want to find me, I am on all social media. And if you're listening, follow me on Twitter. I have a Twitter, and I fucking don't put anything on it. But follow me, yeah. So
that reminds me about Twitter. So yeah, I better check that.
Is that the way? It's like, oh yeah, there's that other platform I've set up years ago. I forgot all about it.
Well, you can, follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna delete everything else and just stay on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, follow. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, the YouTubes, everything. Keenan Flannery, music.
I have to do it for you, man.
Good man. I'm too distracted by fucking autistic dog over here, like, you know, kind of. All right, hey, how's it going? Like, how you get that? Whatever. Yeah, you tell them, Copper, where they can find you and your handsome face.
You flatter me as usual. I'm on Copper Kelly Music on most platforms, Instagram, Facebook. I nearly forgot the names of them for some reason. But yeah, I have music on Spotify and iTunes and blah, 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 all the streaming platforms. So yeah, Copper Kelly Music, you'll find me there. But yeah, if you want to hear this bonus Patreon episode that we're going to get into now, you can go over to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/The Art Saddle podcast. And every week we do a bonus episode. And if you're a patron, you can get the bonus episode and have better crack with us and good stuff and happy days and help support independent podcasts and keep the fires burning and the wheels turning, all that good stuff.
Keep the lights on.
Keep the lights on. Keep some beer. I'm nearly out of beer. I need another Patreon to fill this back up for me. So, but yeah, look, that's our episode this week, and I want to thank Walker again very much for coming on, having the crack with us, and do go check out his music. But for now, if you just want to say goodbye to the lovely people, and we'll call it quits at that, and we go to the Patreon. So yeah, bye.
Adios.
Bye.